Today, I want to talk about something that's very relevant, something that's needed by our world, especially during this time. And I want to talk about peace. Peace is needed in our society, in our world right now. With the news about the war between Ukraine and Russia, don't we all pray for peace? So that all these things that are happening, the rising gasoline prices, yung mga taong nawawalan ng trabaho, the families in Ukraine that are affected, the people who were killed because of this war. We all pray and hope that this gets resolved soon. Locally, we want also peace in our country. With the upcoming elections, we hear of conflicts between family, between friends, between office mates. Marami na pong nag-away-away. Marami nang na-block na friends sa Facebook. Yung iba, unfriend kaagad pag hindi nagkasundo sa opinion. Don't we all need peace in our lives, in our world right now? And what does Jesus say to all of us when it comes to peace? In the book of Matthew, this is what Jesus says to all of us. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Jesus tells us that blessed are the peacekeepers, the peacemakers. But brothers and sisters, what exactly does peace stand for? What does it mean? When Jesus rose from the dead and ascended into heaven, He told us that all of us, all the followers of Jesus Christ, not only the apostles, we will all experience three things. The first one is this, that we will become happy. In fact, Jesus tells us that when we have a relationship with Him, we will be more than happy. We will be filled with joy. Joy to the fullest level. Second thing that will happen is that we will become brave. We will be filled with courage. That we will be able to overcome our fears and do the impossible by His power. And the third thing that will happen is we will experience troubles in this world. So the question for all of us now is this. If we will experience troubles, as Jesus told us, as Jesus promised all of us, then how can we experience peace? The question is our peace the same definition as God's peace? Most of us, we consider peace as the world defines it. We pursue, we dream of worldly peace. And what is worldly peace? Worldly peace is experiencing or everything that happens works in our favor. That we are not bothered in any way. No troubles at all. That is what worldly peace is. Eh maganda naman yun, di ba mga kapatid? But is that really true? Is that really the kind of peace that we all need? Let me share with you a good analogy of how I would define world peace. World peace is something like this. Naglalakad ka sa beach, biglang may natapakan kang matulis na bato. And that sharp stone makes a wound in your foot. But because you experience world peace, you don't feel anything. And you continue walking in the beach. And your wound on the foot continues to bleed. Dugo siya ng dugo. And you keep on walking. Wala ka pa rin nararamdaman. And that wound gets infected. You do not apply any medication. You don't clean it. Because why? You don't feel any pain. World peace. And you know, that infection gets worse. It gets to a point that they have to amputate your foot. They have to cut off your foot. World peace. This is the problem with world peace. We don't experience the pain, but it also does not allow us to grow, to be stronger, to address what needs to be addressed, to fix what needs to be repaired. This is why God wants us to receive godly peace over worldly peace. In fact, Jesus Himself, in the book of John, offers to us the peace that comes from God. Peace I live with you, my peace I give you. Not as the world gives do I give it to you. Do not let your hearts be troubled or afraid. Our goal as Christians is to receive the peace that God Himself is offering. When you read the Old Testament, the word peace, shalom, is a bigger word. It encompasses a larger meaning. It does not refer only to the ending of war. It does not refer to the end of the battle of two or three countries. It paints a bigger picture. It means that the country is in abundance. It means that there is no war. It means that people have mutual respect. It means that the harvest is good. It means the relationship and the health of everyone is doing well. That is what shalom means. It paints a bigger picture. It's not about yourself, but everyone in your community being at peace. And that is the godly peace that Jesus wants all of us to receive. Why should we aim for this peace instead? Because of the blessing that it gives. Matthew 5:9, Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. The price of being a peacemaker or a peacekeeper is being called and acknowledged to be the child of God. Wow! Isn't that such a blessing? You know, for someone, a popular person, or a rich guy, or a famous celebrity, to call you as their child, their son, their daughter. Isn't that such a privilege, such an honor? And here, in this particular verse, in Matthew 5:9, we're not talking about a person. We are talking about God acknowledging you as His own child. That is such a powerful blessing. Because peace is staying in the midst, in the presence of our Lord, despite the difficulties. That is what peace is all about. That is the true meaning of what peace is. Peace is being in the midst of trouble, yet not panicking, not getting worried because you know that God is in your midst. Imagine Moses. Moses leading the Israelites out of Egypt. But behind him is the powerful army of the Pharaoh trying to pursue them, trying to catch all of them again so they can be punished again. Yet Moses does not panic. He continues on in leading the people, in leading God's people to the promised land. Imagine David in front of the giant Goliath, the giant that no one has courage to take on face to face because he was an excellent warrior and he was big. Yet David stood there, no armor, no shield. He was just holding his slingshot and a few rocks. That is the peace that God gives. Being peaceful, staying calm, not panicking in the midst of troubles, in the midst of problems. So the challenge for all of us now is how can we be peacekeepers in our family, with our friends, in our country? Allow me to share with you 4 points. 4 points that you can apply in your life so that you can be a peacekeeper. And in being a peacekeeper, you will be acknowledged to be a child of God. Let's go with the first one. Let peace be a commitment. The first point to be a peacekeeper, to be a peacemaker, is to make a commitment about peace. It has to start with you. You have to make a commitment that you want peace. Because peace is something that you cannot hide. You have to take action. Being a peacekeeper or a peacemaker requires an active decision, requires an active action, not a passive one. Peace is not something we can just sweep under the rug and expect it to be gone. Hindi po mangyayari yun. If we try to ignore conflict one way or the other, lalabas na naman po yan. The same conflict will arise. So here's my first question to all of you. What do you do when conflict arises? Do you hide or try to avoid the situation? Or do you thrive and try to do something about it? I'll give you another analogy. Firemen, yung mga bumbero po, their main role is to stop the fire. They are not there to start it. And it's the same with us Christians. We are called to stop conflict, not start conflict. So how about us? When we post something in our social media, are we starting conflicts because we're spreading lies, spreading fake news? Or are we posting something that will move others to reconcile, to be united, to be peaceful? In our family, are we mediating those who have conflict? Are we encouraging them to reconcile? O ginagatungan pa ba natin? No, sasabihin natin, alam mo, tama ka eh. Wala talagang kwenta yan si ano. No, tama, patuloy mo yan. Patunayan mo na tama ka. That is not being a peacekeeper. That is putting fuel into the fire and just letting the fire become bigger. For us to follow Christ, we are called to be peacekeepers. You know, when we are promoting peace, we can save a lot of people. Let me share to you this quote. Acquire the spirit of peace and 1,000 souls around you will be saved. Peace is something that we don't only wish and pray for. Peace is an action word. It's something that we have to do something. It doesn't require us to just sit back and wish that peace will simply come. But you might tell me, Alvin, ang hirap kasi ng peace na yan. It's so hard to mediate, to promote peace. Baka mamaya ang tahitahimik na ng buhay ko, madamay pa ako dyan. True, it will be difficult. Pero ano bang sabi sa atin ni Jesucristo? What does Jesus say to all of us? If you want to be my disciple, carry your cross and follow me. And this is one of the cross that we have to carry. That we should be peacekeepers in our family, in our workplace, in our city, in our social media accounts. Always be a man of peace. Promote peace. Make a commitment to live according to peace. That's the first rule. Let's go to point number 2 of how to be a peacekeeper. Let go. The second point to be a peacekeeper is to let go. Brothers and sisters, even before this pandemic arrived in 2020, there was a bigger pandemic that was happening all over the world. It also comes in different variants. The variants are called anxiety, uneasiness, panic. This global pandemic is called worry. We have to let go of our worries so that we can have peace. Because if we don't have peace in our lives, how can we promote peace to others? Diba? There's a famous quote that goes, you cannot give what you don't have. So it starts with you. And the thing that blocks peace in your life are worries. Because worry does not do anything in your life. In the book of Matthew, it says, can any of you, by worrying, add a single moment to your lifespan? Anxiety has been the long-standing plague affecting our lives. And when worry affects our life, we cannot achieve peace. As Jesus says, worry does not add to our life. In fact, when you worry too much, it even cuts down your life. Kung minsan ang akala natin, ang nakakapatay sa atin, aksidente, health concerns, pero lahat ng health concerns natin, or maybe a lot of our health concerns, are based on worry. Are based on worry. And when we worry too much, we cannot receive the peace of God. We cannot feel it in our lives. And what does a famous quote say to us? We cannot give what we don't have. If we don't have peace in our lives, how can we be peacekeepers, peacemakers? How can we promote peace to others? So let's try to let go. There's a popular quote that goes something like this. Worry is like sitting on a rocking chair. It allows you to do something. You can just sit there, relax, rock the chair, but at the end of the day, you don't go anywhere. You're still there. It just gives you something to do, but you're not moving, you're not growing. So drop worry. There's a study in the US that only 8%, remember that, 8%, not even 10% of our worries will actually happen. Think of 10 worries, 10 bagay po that are making you anxious during this time. And look at that stat that I mentioned. Dun sa 10 worry na naabala ka, nag-worry ka, in those 10 items, not one of them will come true. Because it's only 8%. So in your 100 worries, only 8 will come true. So why worry about the 92%? And stress out your body. And later on, you display a lot of symptoms. When technology is a good thing. But sometimes when we feel something in our body, what's our default? We go to Google and we start typing in the symptoms. And Google has this way of displaying to us the worst case scenario. Masakit yung tiyan mo, ginugel mo, ito yung symptoms, anong lalabas? May cancer ka. And that keeps you all night, hindi ka na nakatulog. So instead of self-medicating or doing your own research, go to a doctor. Have followed instructions from the doctor. And stop worrying. We have to make peace a commitment, and we have to let go of our worries. Let's go to point number 3. Let Jesus lead. Have you ever experienced storms in your life? Storms that are so big, so dark, so scary, that you feel so alone. The apostles, they also encountered a storm in the Bible. And in that storm, listen to what Jesus says to all of them. On that day, as evening drew on, he said to them, "Let us cross to the other side." Let me repeat what Jesus says. Let us cross on the other side. Jesus himself leads the apostles into the storm. He does not abandon them. He does not forget them. He does not tell them, "Go ahead, I'll follow." No, he tells them, "I will go with you. I will be there." Let me share with you one truth. When you are experiencing problems, troubles, people may leave you. Your friends may leave you. Your office mates may leave you. Your relatives may leave you. Your parents, your siblings may leave you. But the truth is, God will never ever leave you. You won't be alone even if you feel that you are alone. In fact, in the book of Exodus, He is even a step ahead of you. Thus says the Lord, "See, I am sending an angel before you to guard you on the way and bring you to the place I have prepared." Jesus in the book of Matthew chapter 28 even tells us, he makes a promise that I will be with you till the end of time. For us to be peacekeepers, peacemakers, we need to let Jesus lead. And not only lead in one area of our life, we need to let Jesus lead every area of our life. Whether that's your career, your family life, your hobbies, your social life, all of this should have Jesus in the center because He wants you. He wants to lead your life so that you can be guided, so that you can be taken care of. When Jesus is leading, there's no room for worry because you can trust Him that He will take care of you. How do we know that Jesus is leading our life? Good question. Paano nga ba yan, Alvin? How do we assess if Jesus is indeed leading our life? And here's a good guide question that you can adopt. When you're about to make a decision on something, when you're about to do something, ask yourself this question. What would Jesus do? And if the answer is, if your action is similar or the same as to what Jesus would do in that particular situation, then you are letting Jesus lead. But if your decision, your action, the thing that you're about to do is totally different from what you think Jesus would do at that time, then you are not letting him lead. You're telling him, Jesus, stay behind me. I will lead. I will do this. I will handle it. That's not being a peacekeeper. Let Jesus lead so that you can be a peacekeeper. Fourth and final truth about how you can be a peacekeeper is to let the truth come out. Let the truth come out always. Parati po. In our world right now, fake news is so easy to spread around. It's so easy to reshare, to repost something which is not factual. And everyone feels that their opinion is right. Malaki po ang difference between opinion and factual truth. You are entitled to your opinion, but you cannot change the truth. If we are to stand or promote peace, then we should be able to let the truth always come out. Because brothers and sisters, if everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and everyone can rightfully destroy the truth, then we will never ever achieve peace. Because we cannot decide, we cannot agree to a particular truth. Because if I will respect your opinion and you will respect my opinion, and both our opinions are contradicting, then that is not peace. That's ignoring peace, in fact. So always find time to stand by the truth. Never promote lies. Never promote fake news. As Christians, we are called to stand by the truth. And we stand by what Jesus says. He says that I am the way, the truth, and the life. If that particular thing is not something that Jesus will promote, then there's a big chance that that is not the truth. Always follow what God says, because what God says is always the truth. Remember these 4 things so that you can be a peacekeeper. Let peace be a commitment. Let go. Let Jesus lead. And let the truth come out. Here's my final story. You know, in July 25, year 2000, Air France Concorde Flight 4590 had a major accident. As the plane was taking off, the rear tire hit a metal rod, and that caused the tire to burst. And when it burst, it hit the fuel tank, also in the rear part of the plane, and that started a fire. And the pilot wanted to land again to the nearest possible airport, but it was too late. It was too late. And that plane ended up crashing. It killed hundreds of passengers, plus the crew. The crew members, they were all dead. And the last words that was recorded, the last words of the pilot that was recorded were this: too late. Too late. In our lives right now, may we not experience, may we not say those words, too late. It's too late to fix my relationship with my parents, with my sibling, with my friend. Maybe your friend is dying, or maybe you in your deathbed. You just remember that you still have this conflict with your parent, with your brother, with your sister, or a good friend. And all you can say is, too late. My prayer is that we don't have to say those words. Reconcile while you still have time. Pursue peace. It's a difficult task. But with God by our side, we can do the impossible. So always seek peace. Always prioritize peace. Because when we become peacekeepers, God calls us His child, His children. God bless you.